Good evening, Facebook community. This is Jennifer with Uplifting Life Naturally, just hopping on here for my evening message. I wanted to take a few minutes tonight and share with you some of the ways that a poor diet of ours, if we have a poor diet, can affect our mood and oftentimes can lead to, us feeling a little down and depressed. Oftentimes, when, we as healthcare professionals and providers are managing depression, we tend to do so more in the forms of medication management as well as, individual and or group therapies. And certainly, those, means of treatment and such are certainly, valuable and important ways to treat and manage depression, but we also need to consider, our diet. And that's something that, even a lot of us can, take a look at on our own for those of us who maybe, feel we've been feeling a little more down or, depressed or moody. Now, certainly, if there's, tragic life events and such, certainly, a whole different story. And certainly I do want to preface, with any severe forms of depression and any thoughts of suicide, certainly please make sure you are seeking professional help for yourself and or your loved one. This is just some general tips in regards to encouraging people to eat a more rounded type of a diet, getting all of the appropriate nutrients and vegetables in for our health. I've been talking a lot about that lately, and I found it interesting in some of my research too that when our bodies lack a lot of these nutrients and minerals, it not only affects our body, but it also affects our brain, and how that can play a part in our mood. So I do want to hop on here for a few minutes and share a little bit about that with everybody, and I certainly appreciate those hopping on and listening. So, when we look at and talk about depression, we're looking at certain what we call neurotransmitters in our brain. I'm sure many of you have heard, the terms of serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine, and they're the actual neurotransmitters in our brain that are affected when, we're having feelings of depression or feeling down. And believe it or not, there's, nutrients play an important part in keeping those neurotransmitters and such properly working, because it's, those neurotransmitters actually require, proteins as well as, the vitamins and minerals to make them work properly. So a couple of the ones I wanted to point out, and some of the common foods that are available that are higher in sources of those are as follows. Certainly omega-3 fats and vitamin D is very important to help with our brain function and our mood. Some foods that are good for that are things like your fatty fishes like salmon and trout, as well as fortified eggs. Sometimes, people take the omega-3, supplements as well, so that's something that certainly could be used. Also, we look at iodine. Iodine can be found in cod and iodized salt. They're certainly two very good sources of getting some iodine in via, your diet. But milk, eggs, and yogurt are also some moderate sources of iodine. So you can certainly, work at making sure you're getting some of those into your diet as well. Zinc, found in crab, oysters, beef, pork, chicken, and even cashews are some good sources of zinc. So, certainly make sure you're adding those to your diet if you want to pay attention to your brain health as well. Magnesium is important. That can be found in nuts and seeds, as well as dark green vegetables, whole grains, and believe it or not, even dark chocolate. So there you go, ladies. We have a reason that we need to eat dark chocolate. There is, I guess, a little science behind, chocolate making us feel better. So, but dark chocolate, I guess it is. Like I said, has magnesium, and magnesium is important. Iron is also another nutrient that's very important when it comes to keeping our brain nourished and functioning properly. Foods that are high in iron are things like beef, pork, lamb, the dark meat of chicken, as well as eggs and liver. I don't know about you. I've never tasted it. Not a fan of even the smell, but hey, it's apparently, you know, a high source of iron. So those of you who may need, you know, may be willing to try it. When we're talking about iron, also to get better absorption of your iron, one way you can do this is when you're eating the foods high in iron, or is also to consume some foods high in vitamin C, or even take a vitamin C supplement. Some of the foods that you can, you know, look at as far as for vitamin C sources include your citrus fruits, as well as kiwi, bell peppers, and strawberries. So those are certainly, you know, some delicious fruits that should be, you know, pretty much in season now over the next couple of months with summer. So go ahead and enjoy some of those as well for brain function. And then certainly the B complex vitamins are very important, you know, when talking about our mood and such. Whole grains, nuts, seeds, and dark green vegetables are some good sources for, you know, some natural foods and such to get those nutrients in. So, again, I just wanted to share, you know, a couple of foods that, you know, we want to make sure that we are consuming, and why, not just because, you know, we're all healthcare nuts, or, you know, healthcare professionals crazy about everybody being on, you know, a healthy diet, or, you know, that type of thing, but it really does affect our, our health in so many ways, other than just, you know, our weight, which seems to be a big focus of so many people. So, you know, I want to take a little bit of time to try to educate as well on, you know, why these things are important. Otherwise, it's more than just, you know, our body weight. To me, you know, as I've mentioned before, for those who have been following me, you know, I'm not one who focuses on a number or a size. It's more, you know, about feeling strong and feeling healthy. And as I've mentioned before, the best way to do that is just eat naturally, natural foods, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, you know, your proteins, nuts, you know, that type